Imagine an African emperor so wealthy that when he entered Egypt, the price of gold began to fall. His name was Mansa Musa, and he ruled one of medieval Africa's greatest empires.
But his wealth did not appear by magic. It came from a land Europeans knew surprisingly little about. West Africa possessed some of the richest gold-producing regions known to the medieval world. Yet gold alone could not build an empire. Someone had to control the roads that carried it. Across the Sahara stretched one of the most dangerous trade networks on Earth. And at its heart was a trade so valuable that gold was exchanged for something far less glamorous: salt.
Salt was essential for survival, and in parts of West Africa, it was incredibly scarce.
Gold moved north, salt moved south, and wealth flowed through Mali. From this trade network, the Mali Empire began transforming into a formidable power. But before Mansa Musa, another ruler laid the foundation: Sundiata Keita.
In the 13th century, Sundiata defeated his greatest rival and forged a powerful new kingdom. Victory gave Sundiata something more valuable than gold: control. Soon, Mali stretched across enormous territories in West Africa. And one of its greatest advantages was the mighty Niger River.
Along these routes, cities became centers of commerce, politics, and culture.
Then, around the early 14th century, Mansa Musa took the throne.
He inherited wealth, but he also inherited a machine built to create more of it.
Gold was flowing through Mali's economy, and Mansa Musa controlled a powerful share of that trade.
Far beyond the Sahara, stories of this enormous African wealth were spreading. Then Mansa Musa decided to make a journey that would change how the outside world saw Mali.
In 1324, he traveled toward Mecca with a vast entourage.
For weeks, the caravan crossed one of the harshest environments on Earth.
And according to historical accounts, the emperor carried enormous quantities of gold.
Then the caravan reached Cairo, and everything changed. People had heard of Mali's wealth. Now they were seeing it. Mansa Musa spent and distributed so much gold that the local gold market was reportedly disrupted. Historical accounts say the effects lasted for years. Stories of the unbelievably wealthy African ruler traveled across North Africa and beyond. And eventually, Mansa Musa appeared on European maps. To medieval mapmakers, he became the symbol of African wealth. Yet reducing Mali to gold misses the most important part of its story. Because Mali was also home to one of Africa's most famous intellectual centers, Timbuktu. Here, scholars studied mathematics, astronomy, law, theology, and literature.
In Mali, wealth was not only measured in gold. Knowledge mattered too. Grand centers of learning and worship rose from the earth.
Mali's builders turned mud and timber into extraordinary architecture. Meanwhile, merchants moved goods across thousands of kilometers. Mali was connected to North Africa, the Mediterranean, and the wider Islamic world.
Trade required protection, and Mali possessed a formidable military.
At its height, Mali was one of the most powerful states in medieval West Africa.
Mansa Musa had turned wealth into something the wider world could see.
Yet even the greatest empires eventually face a question. What happens next?
After powerful rulers disappeared, maintaining such a vast empire became increasingly difficult.
My bloodline has the only rightful claim.
An empire demands strength, not just blood.
Faraway territories began slipping from central control. And new powers began rising across the region.
But Mali's greatest legacy, the gold trade, did not simply disappear.
Stories of Mali's wealth survived long after. Its political power weakened.
But centuries later, many people would forget just how powerful this African civilization had been.
Then historians began piecing the story back together. The lesson of Mali is not simply that Africa had gold. It was that Mali built systems capable of turning natural resources into enormous economic power. Gold, salt, agriculture, rivers, cities, armies, and trade routes all worked together. And through those networks, Mali became part of a much larger world.
Mansa Musa's pilgrimage simply made that hidden world impossible to ignore.
His image traveled across maps, manuscripts, and generations. For a time, Mali stood at the center of one of the world's most important gold economies. And behind the legend was something even more impressive: a sophisticated African civilization. Mali reminds us that Africa's medieval history was not a footnote. It was part of the story of the world. If you want more forgotten stories that changed the world, subscribe to History Hub and discover the history they never taught you.